Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Thrive in 5 podcast. I hope you are doing okay and are having a lovely start to your week. I will be honest and say that I am very stressed out right now. I'm recording this on a Sunday evening. I'm going into what is going to be an incredibly busy, stressful week. I'm off on holiday the week after next, so I go next weekend. And I don't know about you, but every time I go on holiday, it feels like more stress than it's worth in many ways because I want to take some time off. I actually will be working a little bit when I am on holiday, just because the nature of being self-employed means that's kind of something I sort of have to do, but I will be taking quite a bit more downtime than I've ever taken before on holiday. But before, when I was in the corporate world, I used to find this as well, that when you go on holiday, you try and take a week off and it feels like you end up with 3 or 4 weeks extra work to do as a result because you have to do everything before you go that you would have done when you were away, and then you have to catch up on all your emails when you get back, and it just feels like more stress than it's worth. It's a little bit how I'm feeling right now going into this next week. I have a lot to get done. I've got a very, very busy diary. One of those weeks where I look ahead and I think like, oh my God, like how am I going to handle this? My calendar looks bonkers. It's multicolored and stressful and overwhelming. And I'll be honest and say that, yes, it's stressful, but a little part of me is kind of quite likes that feeling, I guess. I used to thrive off of stress, I'll be honest. I used to absolutely love it. I used to joke that I couldn't work unless I was under pressure of a deadline. I used to, when I was at uni, I left my deadlines incredibly late because I couldn't do things unless I felt under pressure to do them. You know, I remember doing my professional exams and doing my dissertation, and I'd done all the work for it. I had all the research, I had all of my like surveys and stuff that I'd done, but I had to write my dissertation and I submitted it with literally 10 seconds to go because I don't know, I just liked the stress of knowing that I don't know, if I'd finished it earlier, I would have, I don't know, I don't think I could have done it. I loved working under pressure. I loved it at work too. When I was working, I had one particular role where I was doing like a competitor analysis role, so we used to review other banks' kind of results, and we would write a full analysis paper within about 5 hours, and it was incredibly intense, high pressure work. Like, we had really tight deadlines. We had to have done the first draft by 11 o'clock. We had to have done the second draft by 2 o'clock. We had to got it up for final feedback by 6 o'clock. We then had to present it to like the committee the following day. Like, it was such a high pressure environment, and I absolutely loved it. I thrived off of it. And that said, as much as I thrived off of it from a work perspective, I used to feel like stress was a problem and it was the reason why I couldn't take care of myself. I would, from a work perspective, having those tight deadlines, having, a lot of things to do was great, but it came at the cost of my health. Being that stressed meant that I struggled to eat well. I can't eat well because I'm stressed. I'm having to grab things on the go. I've not got time to plan my food. I'm too stressed. I'm too overwhelmed. I would say I couldn't lose weight because of my stress levels. I would say that I had the reason that I was carrying more body fat was because I was stressed. I was like, well, it's just like my stress hormones. I see this a lot on social media at the moment, like cortisol face and stuff like that, which I'll do an episode on at some point because nonsense. But I used to say that, stress was the reason I couldn't lose weight. And it's something that I hear a lot from people. I'll, get on discovery calls with people. I'll be chatting to clients and they'll say things like, if I was just less stressed, I'd be able to lose weight. I wouldn't be thrown off track by a stressful day. I would be able to eat better. I'd be able to exercise more. And I'm just going to give you a bit of an alternative view of stress. Stress is a really normal thing. It is natural. It is something that we are designed to feel. It is not something that comes as a result of our modern 21st century lives. It is something that has existed in our bodies for as long as humanity has existed. It is a response to a stressor. When you feel that stressed feeling, that feeling of panic, that feeling of like nausea, chest feeling tight, maybe feeling sick, maybe feeling shaky. I don't know about you, but whenever I get stressed, my ears get incredibly hot. Whatever it is, when you feel that feeling, that is your body responding to a stressor, and that response exists to keep you safe. You'll have heard of the fight or flight response. That feeling of wanting to either run away or to fight something. When you get that rush of adrenaline, that feeling of stress, of anxiety, your body is basically preparing to run away or to fight a lion. It just doesn't realise that the thing you're doing is writing a PowerPoint slide or presenting in a meeting, not fighting for your life. And equally, when you have a more chronic stress response, so this is where maybe you have really heightened stress over a long period of time. So not that feeling of like, oh my God, I've got 2 minutes to get something done. Oh my God, I'm so stressed. But that feeling of like long-term, like anxiety, stress, panic, when you've had like a really long stressful period at work. For me, this was always like end of year reporting. That was always like a period of maybe 6 weeks where I was just constantly on edge. That feeling is also a natural response. It is your body's response to not thinking that it's going to be able to survive something long term, maybe a famine or like a siege on the village. That is your body's response to something. It's like, right, my life is under threat in the more medium term. I need to protect myself. It is a normal response to feel this. It is okay that you are stressed because it makes you human. It's a natural response to a stressor. The problem is that our brains and bodies haven't caught up to the fact that the things we're stressed about are end of year reports or PowerPoint slides or sending emails or things that are going on holiday, things that are not going to end our lives. And the problem is that we feel that stress response and our bodies respond in the same way that they would when we were fighting a lion. We do stuff to make that response go away. What we need to do is find a better way to respond to that stressor. So we feel that physical reaction, that feeling of panic or anxiety or nausea or hot ears or whatever it might be. And rather than saying, oh my God, it's too hard, I'm going to have a chocolate bar. Or rather than saying, oh, I don't know what to do, I feel sick, I'm just going to like scroll on my phone to make it go away, or I'm going to do some online shopping, or whatever coping mechanism you might be using, we have to learn to respond to that stressor differently, to that stress response. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you a way that you can handle this better. So I will see you then. In the meantime, I'm going to go and attack my inbox.